Hi y'all, this is Larry from Deep South Texas, and today we're going to make cornbread. And not just any cornbread, we're going to make cornbread from scratch from corn that I grew in my garden. And it's not just any corn, it's Danny corn. And for this recipe I need 1 cup of cornmeal, and I'm going to use this corn right here. Looks pretty. So let's try getting some of these kernels off of the cobs. Well, those came off pretty good. Let's try one of the yellow ones. Yeah, they're coming off good. They're going all over the place though. So let's get back to you when I have the kernels shelled off the cobs. Well, it didn't take too long to get that all off. Now we're going to head to the garage to grind it. I'm told that once you grind it, it just looks yellow, so we're going to give that a try. There's about 3½ cups of corn kernels here. I'm expecting that will yield more than 1 cup of cornmeal that I will need for this recipe. And here is the grist mill I'm going to use to grind the corn. This is a model 750, I think, Enterprise Manufacturing. Now it had a nice cast iron wheel on it to spin right here, but I've taken that off and put a motor on it, so it's a little bit easier to use. Now it's mainly used for grinding malted barley. Corn is a lot harder to grind, so I've loosened it up, and I'll have to run the corn through several times. So let's go ahead and get started. Got a switch right there, turn it on. There we go. I have to run it through several times and tighten it up each time I run the corn through. But it goes through pretty fast. Well, this is about my 10th time through the grist mill. And I think we're finally getting something that's approaching cornmeal. So after this run, I'm going to take it inside and I will sift it to get the cornmeal out. And what's left we'll use as grits. Okay, now we're going to run our ground up corn through a sieve, and hopefully we get more than 1 cup of cornmeal. And I think that shouldn't be a problem, so we should be okay. So here is our cornmeal. Way more than 1 cup of that. And here are the grits. So we'll be using all of that. The grits, though, for breakfast maybe tomorrow. Let's get started on that cornbread. So the first thing we're going to do is we have a tablespoon of bacon drippings in our 9-inch cast iron pan, and we're going to put that in the oven and preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, we're going to mix our dry ingredients. We have our 1 cup of our Danny cornmeal, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, a 1/4 cup of sugar, and we have 2 teaspoons of baking powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So we're just going to mix that all together. Then we're going to get our wet ingredients ready, starting with mixing up these 2 eggs. Well, let's get our wet ingredients mixed in. Two eggs, 1 1/4 cup of cultured buttermilk, and 8 tablespoons or 1 stick of melted butter. And it's been melted and it's fairly cool, so we're not cooking the eggs here. Okay, now let's start adding this to our dry ingredients. And get that mixed in real well. Well, the oven has, and this pan have been preheated. Let's make sure we spread some of this bacon grease around the sides of the pan. And then let's put in our cornmeal mixture. You can hear that sizzling in the pan already. And that goes back in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. All right, the cornbread is out of the oven and it's looking and smelling great. So it was in the oven for a full 30 minutes, but I believe it's done. Now, we're going to let this cool down for about 15 minutes and then we're going to cut into it and see how it tastes. Well, it's been cooling down for about 15 minutes. Let's see if we can cut a slice. Get that cut enough. There it is. Well, I think this cornbread is ready to try. Now my wife, she wanted me to make Mexican cornbread. But I thought for my first go at this, I better try something traditionally Southern. But I have enough cornmeal left to make another batch. So if you want to see Mexican cornbread, leave a comment below. Anyway, let's see if we can put a little butter on this and give it a taste. It feels a little bit grainier, I would say, than the cornbread I'm used to eating, and that's just because of my grist mill, I imagine. But I think it's going to be pretty good. Again, homemade cornbread with corn grown in the garden, and let's taste it. Very good. A little more corn flavor than I think that the cornbread that I buy has, but it's good. Like I said, it looked a little bit grittier. The mouthfeel isn't really any grittier than normal cornbread. So I'm calling this a success. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.